why don't people want to be estate agents when they're growing up? Today, I'm joined by Chris Webb, who is a estate agency guru, used to work for some of the biggest firms in the industry as a national trainer, and he's here to talk to me about why people don't want to become estate agents. Chris, why don't people want to become estate agents? Talk to me.
Absolutely. So I can still remember the bit of the job that I liked the least when I was a estate agent on the front line, and that was when I met people I didn't know, and they would say to me, "So Chris, what do you do for a living?" And I would say, "I'm an estate agent." And it's that slight half a second pause where they go, okay.
Well, let's just go one step back. Did you fall into estate agency like the rest of us?
Would I say I fell into it? I wouldn't say fall, tripped is probably a way.
Okay.
So when I came out of college, I looked in the paper for a job, as you do back in the day.
Because your parents were giving you hassle?
Absolutely quite. If you're going to live under this roof, all
Mind
that sort of
reader.
stuff.
Doof.
Yeah, mind blown. Yeah, newsflash. Absolutely.
So it was either flipping burgers or it was sticking photos on brochures.
So I've always enjoyed working with people. I've always been quite competitive, quite salesy, even though I didn't really know it back then, but that was kind of the personality trait I had. I saw an advert in the paper for a job at Hamptons International in Winchester. Had my first interview, and that went okay in the grand scheme of things. He said to me, "Do you want to come back tomorrow for an interview with the area manager? By the way, have you got a suit?" Of which I said, "Of course I've got a suit." To have a quick phone call to my mum when you go to Marks and Spencer's tonight to buy a suit. Next day, meeting with the area manager, needless to say, didn't get the job. So that did not a very good start. But actually having a conversation with both the area manager and the branch manager at the time, a lot of boxes were ticked about, actually, I thought to myself, actually, it's quite a good career. It's quite fun, Never been particularly in love with property, but I enjoy a competitive sales environment. I like talking to people. I like being out about as well, a kind of a good mixture on that side. That evening, I wrote a letter to every estate agency in Winchester, attached with my CV, stapled on the top corner, ran every estate agent, put it under their doormat or in their postbox for the next morning, and got a phone call the next morning, had an interview the day after, and started the day after that.
And who was that with?
That was with Complete Estate Agents in Winchester, which was Ian McKenzie's company.
Oh, Mac. Love him.
Small world. So Ian was my first boss.
What did Mac teach you?
A lot. Very, in hindsight, a fantastic place to learn to be an estate agent.
Excellent. Let's come back though to the original question about, you say why people aren't becoming estate agents. Is the problem people aren't becoming estate agents, or they're not stopping in estate agency? What's the real?
I think
or is it a bit of both?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both there. I think that the people are unclear about the route in estate agency and where it can ultimately lead to. People go, right, okay, I start as a negotiator. Where's next? Do I just do viewings all the time? Do I become a branch manager? Do I become a director? Where's the final goal for it? So people would have some sort of prediction into the future about where they're going to go to. I don't think that's very well laid out at the moment.
Well, I must admit, I'm hearing at the moment that there's loads of people applying to be estate agents. They just think it's Sunset Boulevard and they take videos around, walking around.
Yeah, too much selling Sunset, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, the stilettos don't quite fit me. So yeah, I won't be doing that anytime soon.
So again, come back to the original question. Is it people not coming in, or is it people not staying?
I think it's a bit of both, but primarily I'd say people will not stay for the long term. I think that they will do a section of the role, probably find out that it's probably a bit harder work than Netflix has led them to believe, and therefore they think to themselves, maybe this career hasn't got longevity for myself.
Do you think what do you think is the core reason behind that?
I think there's going to be an underlying issue of a lack of support and development of people, and a lack of realistic expectations about what day one is going to look like and what day 100 is going to look like. People who come into the industry, it's a very steep learning curve in the estate agency world. Training is very much on-the-job training, which isn't the right thing to do, which is a whole different topic in itself. It's very much end of day two, there's your keys, go to a viewing, don't lose the keys, don't let the cat out, we'll see how it goes, sort of thing. So that is very much on-the-job training. In those sort of situations, it's very sink or swim. This is why it's crucial for people to have some sort of system and some sort of training schedule in place to go, right, you're here today, and this is day one. Over the next 2 months, we're going to train you in this, and then you'll get to this stage. Over the next 3 months, we'll train you in all these areas, and you'll be this, this, and this by the end of it.
Do you think that's something to do with the fact that, I find it fascinating that I can count on those fingers, and I can't even fill all those fingers.
Yep.
The number of trainers that I know in a estate agency that don't work, that are non-corporate.
Yep. Yeah, I understand. I think that's a shame for the UK property industry, if I'm honest with you, because let's face it, having a trainer or a coach in your corner isn't going to make you any worse. they're not going to drag you down, and they're not going to say to you, you're stop doing all the right stuff and start doing all the wrong stuff. It's only going to be a net positive position to your business.
Okay, so, but then of course you're going to say that because you're an estate agency trainer guru.
Yes, but I think logically, if you look at, I don't know, any sport, look at a football team. They don't just turn up on a Sunday. They don't just turn up on Sunday and go, right, I haven't played for the last 7 days, let's go kick the ball around and see how it goes. There is a wealth of people behind the scenes and make sure that when they turn up on Sunday, they are absolutely on top of their game. And estate agency and business full stop is no different from that.
Okay, so let's just assume there's an estate agency boss watching this and hasn't got any money to put someone on training.
Yep.
What would your advice be?
Official answer, unofficial answer?
Do what you say what you're going to say.
Unofficial answer, come to me because I'm paid on results. So
Yes. Okay, but come on.
Yep.
Well, this is not here to advertise your services.
I don't know. So the short answer is that if you are a business who thinks that I haven't got the cash flow to progress my staff at the moment, you've got a bigger issue. Because if you're running a business where you haven't got the cash flow to invest in your teams, your staff, people moving forward in your business, you're going to have a one-way ticket to your staff walking in the front door and walking out the front door 10 minutes later. And that is not going to be a sustainable business for you.
And is that because fees have been driven too low to not pay people enough?
It's certainly not helped. It's certainly not helped. So I think if the fees were higher in a estate agency, obviously that brings a higher income into most estate agency business that they should hopefully be able to reinvest into their staff and their team members as well. So it certainly doesn't help on that side. But I think with some estate agency bosses, you can give them all the money in the world and all the biggest bank account in the world. They'll still see it as their money to invest in whatever they want to spend it on rather than necessarily what
You've got to have a Porsche, haven't you?
You've got to have a Porsche, absolutely.
So come on then, let's get some value out of you, Chris. What can estate agents do to get higher fees?
Wow, okay, straight to the point there. I think that number one, the biggest difference that people have between having a low fee and a high fee, and I've seen this time and time again, is that it sounds ridiculously low level. But if you are, the number of clients I've had who have gone, I used to charge 1%. And then one day I thought to myself, I deserve more than 1%. I'm going to start charging 1.25%. And they just get it. So a lot of it, majority of it is mindset of people asking for fee to start off with. If you think you're a 1% agent, then chances are you probably are a 1% agent. If you think you're a 1.5% agent, then congratulations, you're probably a 1.5% agent. Back to the old expression, you don't ask, you don't get. If you walk in the front door and say, my fee is 1%, the only way is down from there. They don't only come back and say, that was such a fantastic pitch, Chris, I'm going to pay you 1.1% or 1.2%. The only way is going to be down. So a lot of it is down to you and your mindset and think about what you deserve and what you actually going to achieve for the homeowner. So if you've got tangible results historically, where you can say, actually, the fee is a little bit of a red herring here. I get 99% of asking price and everyone else gets 95% of asking price. Hey, you've just bought yourself 4% worth of leeway and your 0.5%, 0.1%, whatever you're trying to get extra on top of that is not an issue in any way, shape or form. So, but a lot of it is just having the power to back yourself, actually having the backbone to say, this is me, this is what I deserve. We get some clients that walk away and go, actually, I'd rather go with so-and-so estate agent at 1.75%. Absolutely. Were those clients potentially going to absolutely paying your backside for the next 6 months? Potentially, absolutely. So I think it's about having that self-worth in yourself, but also your business model and what you're offering as well. If you deliver a quality product, you've got no problem there saying, my fee is this, and I absolutely deserve it.
Thank you for your time today, Chris.
Thank you very much.